Good morning. Welcome to Second Parish. This morning we're very pleased to have Reverend Danielle DiBona. The prelude is done, so you're on. Okay, thank you. Uh, no, you may.
Wonderful. I get to do the welcome and announcements. That's a good thing. It is good to be together today. It is good to be in this space made holy by your presence here today. It is good to be alive today in this beautiful day of gray skies and impending storm. It is all good. Can I get an amen? It is all good. We are blessed. We are blessed to be together, to love each other, to care for each other, and to worship in this sacred space. So welcome, one and all. Are there any announcements this morning? Okay, this is a Unitarian Universalist miracle. Right, Ken? I would like to say one thing. Today we're going to sing songs that I learned while I was in Minneapolis, and I've heard them described as protest songs, but really they're courage songs. They're songs that we sang together in recognition of our fear and worry and concern to give us more courage so that we could be out on the streets in Minneapolis. I guess that was an announcement. It is good to have you here.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the night of a dark black night.
A call to worship is secretly a call to focus our attention. Choosing to focus our attention is countercultural. Daily, we are called to worship at the altar of many devices, surveillance systems we let take the lead over our every waking moment. We are called by headlines set purely on our activation and by tools that gamify our every human connection. We are not called, we are led. We are not led, we are entrapped. Instead, here, we practice being called. We are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called by these ancestors and this place, this room's particular light, the chalice's particular fire, and the children in our presence. We are called to focus all of our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we cannot cancel nor control. In the words of the poet, farmer, Wendell Berry, we are called here to do something today that does not compute. The words of Samantha Wilson. I invite you to rise as you are willing and able. We are going to sing one of the songs I learned in Minneapolis, and we're going to learn it before we sing it.
Hi, hope you're all doing well. I'm going to sing through the melody once, and then let's sing it through 3 times. If you would like to, you're welcome to sing. You're welcome to harmonize or whatever. So, no one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together or never get there at all. We get there together or never get there at all. We get there together or never get there at all. If you'd like to sing with me. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We get there together or never get there at all. We get there together or never get there at all. We get there together or never get there at all. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We can get there together or never get there at all. We can get there together or never get there at all. We can get there together or never get there at all. Do one more. No one is getting left behind this time. No one is getting left behind. No one is getting left behind this time. We can get there together or never get there at all. We can get there together or never get there at all. We can get there together or never get there at all. Thanks.
Let us read together our chalice lighting and our covenant, which is in your order of service. And Reverend Liz will light the chalice this morning. With love for each other and with respect for each person's search for truth and meaning, we unite to be of service to our neighbors and the larger world.
I didn't want to skip any music. I would like to invite all my children friends up to the front. What special holiday did we learn about last week? All right, Leander.
Thanksgiving.
We did not talk about Thanksgiving last week, but that was a really good guess. All right, Molly wasn't here, but let's see if she can get it.
I wasn't here.
Does anyone remember? I know. Starts with what letter? Okay, grown-ups, help us out. Ramadan. Violet, is that what you're going to guess? No. Only 3 of the kids were here last week, not counting Pia. So we talked about Ramadan last week, and it is going on now. And today, I want to share with you a wisdom tale from Middle Eastern and the Turkish cultures. Okay? It's called Nasreddin Hoja and the Smell of Soup. This week, we are exploring how, even when life is hard, we find resilience through humor. We don't have any fun or humor in Sunday Adventures, right? With that in mind, I want to share a story using wit and humor to be resilient and overcome unfairness. One crisp, wintry afternoon, Nasreddin Hoja was strolling through the bustling market square. The market was alive with people buying and selling goods, the air filled with the scent of roasting meats and freshly baked bread. As Nasreddin made his way through the crowd, he noticed a poor man standing quietly outside a busy restaurant. The man was leaning close to the open kitchen window, and he was taking deep breaths, savoring the rich aroma wafting from the large pot of soup simmering inside. Nasreddin could see the man's hunger in the way his nose twitched and his shoulders relaxed with each inhalation. The restaurant owner saw him and frowned. "Hey, you," he shouted, his voice sharp and accusing. "What do you think you're doing, standing there and stealing the smell of my soup?" The poor man's eyes flew open and he stumbled back, startled by the outburst. "Stealing?" he repeated, confused. "I wasn't stealing anything. I was just enjoying the smell. That's all I can afford." "Whether you took it with your hands or with your nose, you're still taking something that doesn't belong to you," the restaurant owner snapped. "And I demand to be paid for it." The poor man looked down, his face filled with shame and helplessness. "I have no money," he murmured softly. "I can't pay you." "We'll see about that," the owner growled. He grabbed the man roughly by the arm and dragged him away from the restaurant. "If you can't pay me, I'll take you to someone who will make sure justice is served." The poor man stumbled along behind the owner as they made their way through the market square. Nasreddin Hoja, curious about where this commotion was headed, followed them until they reached the courthouse. As luck would have it, Nasreddin was acting as the judge that day, his position a respected one in the town for his wisdom and fairness. "Your Honor," the restaurant owner began, "this man has stolen from me. He was standing outside my restaurant, taking in the smell of my soup without paying for it. I demand compensation for what he's taken." I know, right? The poor man stood with his head bowed, his shoulders hunched. "It's true, Hoja," he said softly. "I smelled the soup, but I didn't take a single drop. I have no money to pay him. I only wanted to fill my belly with the scent, since I have nothing else." Nasreddin Hoja nodded thoughtfully, stroking his beard as he considered the case. You say you only smelled the soup, and you," he said, turning to the restaurant owner, "say that he must pay for it. Very well. Do you have a money pouch with you?" he asked the owner calmly. The restaurant owner, thinking he was about to receive payment, quickly reached into his robes and pulled out a heavy pouch filled with coins. The metal clinked softly as he handed it over to Nasreddin, a self-satisfied smile tugging at his lips. Nasreddin Hoja took the pouch and held it up high, shaking it gently. The coins jingled and clinked together, filling the silent courtroom with the bright, clear sound of money. He shook it a little more, letting the sound resonate throughout the room. "Do you hear that?" Nasreddin asked, his voice calm and even. The owner nodded slowly. "Yes, I hear it," he replied, puzzled. Nasreddin stopped shaking the pouch and handed it back to the owner. "Good," he said, with a satisfied nod. "The sound of money is payment enough for the smell of the soup. This case is dismissed." There was a moment of stunned silence in the courtroom as the meaning of Nasreddin's words sank in. Then the crowd burst into laughter, the sound filling the room like the ringing of bells. The restaurant owner's face turned red with embarrassment and disbelief, but he could say nothing in response. Nasreddin's ruling was final. The poor man, relieved and smiling, bowed gratefully to Nasreddin before slipping quietly out of the courthouse. Nasreddin, his eyes twinkling with amusement, stood and addressed the crowd. "Remember, my friends, sometimes we value things too much that cannot be held or owned," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "Whether it's a smell, a sound, or a fleeting feeling, there are things in this world that money cannot buy, and they should be freely enjoyed by all." The townspeople nodded, understanding the lesson hidden within the humor of the situation. The restaurant owner, though still flustered, managed a sheepish grin. He too realized the foolishness of his demand. With a sigh, he turned and left the courthouse, the sound of the jingling coins still echoing in his ears. What I love about this story is that it reminds us that humor is a form of resilience and can be used as a way to help us fight for justice. Nasreddin didn't yell, punish, or argue. Instead, he used humor to show everyone how silly the situation really was. And while humor didn't erase the problem, it helped people step back, breathe, and see things differently. That's what resilience is: staying steady, staying thoughtful, and sometimes even staying playful when things get tough. All right, so one question, because that was a long story. What's the difference between laughing with someone and laughing at someone? All right, grown-ups, help us out. What's the difference between laughing with someone and laughing at someone? You want to take a guess?
Laughing at someone could hurt someone's feeling, and laughing with someone just brings a feeling of joy.
That was a good answer. I didn't even tell her what to say. Leander. All right, you think I'm going to go to Molly. I'll come back to you.
They're two different things.
They are two different things, right? When you laugh at someone, you're kind of making fun of them, right? And when you laugh with someone, you're sharing in a fun time or a joke.
Laughter.
Laughter. It's a great answer, buddy. All right, so this week I want you to be very mindful, eventually when we get back to school, about, I know, it's Monday snowstorms this year. I want you to be very mindful about not laughing at people, okay? And if there's something that someone needs help with, or other people are laughing at them, I want you to try to be brave and courageous and say something, Okay, Molly?
What if that person's laughing at themselves?
That's a whole bigger conversation. I'm not going to get into the psychology of that just right now, but that is a great question, and you can ask your mom that question later. All right, kiddos, let's head upstairs for Sunday adventures.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
As we listen to the music that is following, I invite you to share your joys and sorrows by writing them on the pads of paper in your pews. Please remember that we are here together in a loving community. And so sharing your joys and sorrows with each other is a step of faith that you know you will be held here.
You can't take my past, can't take my history. You can take my poem, but his name's a mystery. Nothing you can take from me was ever worth keeping. Oh, nothing you can take was ever worth keeping. Can't take my joy, can't take my humor, you can't take my will, 'cause it's just a rumor. Nothing you can take was ever worth keeping. Oh, nothing you can take was ever worth keeping. Thinking you're so fine, thinking you can have mine, thinking you're in control, thinking you'll change me, maybe rearrange me, think again and that's your goal. Can't take my sash, can't take my talking. You can go touch grass, then keep on walking. Nothing you can take was ever worth keeping. Oh, nothing you can take was ever worth keeping. Oh, nothing you can take from me was worth dirt. Take it 'cause I give it free, it won't hurt. Nothing you can take from me was ever worth keeping. No, nothing you can take was ever worth keeping.
My goodness, we have a lot to share today. Gratitude for our neighbor who plows our long driveway and will only take thank you. Gratitude to all the people everywhere who are fighting for equality and fairness. Grateful for community that values love, peace, accountability without violence. It is a joy that my snowplow driver tends to show up. Amen. A sorrow for the Tapper family who lost their eldest son suddenly last week, keeping Cheryl, Mark, and their 2 other children in my heart. Keep John B. and his family in our prayers, and joy for this community of love and support. Our thoughts and prayers are with John as he battles an illness in the hospital. Strength for Lynn as she is his caregiver. And joy for the life of the So I have an older brain, and I'm missing a word, so I'm going to skip that. Please join me in a time of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Spirit of life. We share our joys and sorrows in community, knowing that we are held by each other in love and compassion. We lift up our thoughts and prayers for John and Lynn, knowing that they know that this community will care for them. And to share the joys of this community, hearing over and over again that this community is important to us, that we share values, that we work for equality and fairness. And let us also remember that snow is the universe's gift to us of silence and quiet and inability to go anywhere. And be grateful for that, as grateful as we can be. And let us also remember and be grateful for the life of the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who died this week. May we hold all of these joys and sorrows in our hearts, souls, and minds until we meet again. And may each of us remember that we are held in love and compassion in this community. Please join me for a time of silence. May it be so, and amen. We are a giving, loving, and generous community, and I invite you to share generously as you can. The morning offering will now be received.
Nothing really is. The things just stay the same, they have to change again. Hello, my old friend. You change your name, but not the way you play pretend. American requiem, those big ideas, yeah, are buried here. Amen. There's a lot of talking going on while I sing my song. Can you hear me? I said, do you hear me? Looking there, looking there, looking, 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 looking. Looking there, looking there, looking, looking there, looking there, looking there, looking there. There's a lot of chatter in here, but let me make myself clear. Can you hear me? Do you feel me? Can we stand for something? Now is the time to face the wind. Coming in peace and love, y'all. Oh, a lot of taking up space. Salty tears beyond my gaze. Can you stand me? Can you stand with me? Can we stand for something? Now is the time to face the wind. Now ain't the time to pretend. Now is the time to let love in. Thinking to myself, there's a lot of talking going on while I sing my song. Do you hear me when I say? Do you hear me when I say? Looking there now. Looking there, looking, 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 looking there now. Looking there, looking there, looking there. Can we stand for something? Now is the time to face the wind. Now is the time to pretend. Now is the time to let love in. Can we stand? Looking there, looking in my hand. Brand baby of the moonshine man. Gassed in Alabama. Got folks down in Galveston, rooted in Louisiana. They used to say I spoke too country. Then the rejection came, said I wasn't country enough. Said I wouldn't sell love. But that ain't country. Tell me what is. When my bare feet on solid ground for years. Don't know how hard I had to fight for this, but I'll sing my song. Hello, goodbye to what has been. A pretty house that we never settled in. A funeral to fair weather friends. I am the one to cleanse me of my father's sins. American Requiem.
The reading today comes from interviews with the Reverend Ashley Horan and writings of hers. In the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, thousands of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, officers have been deployed by the White House to detain so-called illegal aliens. But they have adversaries on every block, a network of everyday people who call themselves ICE observers. We've got volunteer patrol people on almost every corner just watching for ICE, keeping people safe. President Trump calls them agitators. Reverend Horan, a Unitarian Universalist minister, is one of them, determined to stop ICE in their goals. She says, there is massive resilience and anger and resistance and resolve. We are not going to tolerate this. We are not going to be intimidated. We are going to protect one another no matter what. Those are the words of the Reverend Ashley Horan. I invite you to stand as you are willing and able and join in singing We Are Not Afraid. We're going to learn it first.
Hello again. It's pretty much the same thing 5 times in a row, but the third line is different. That's why it does it that way. So I will sing it just the first time, and then we can all sing the whole thing 5 times together. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. Now we can do all of it. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We will not afraid. We will sing for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will fight for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will love for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made.
Thank you. I need to tell you that we really needed those songs in Minneapolis, because as we sang this song, we all knew that we were lying. We were definitely afraid. Everyone was afraid. We have all seen the news on TV and the videos on Facebook and other places. And we've seen more than just the murders. We've seen terror on the streets, cars left behind with people taken away, just dragged out of their cars, leaving their cars running. But the neighbors are there. And when they see what looks like an ICE vehicle, and you can pretty much pick them out, they're big, they have tinted windows, out-of-state license plates, that they switch around. So today, the vehicle over here may have Illinois plates, and tomorrow they'll have Maine plates. And if you don't know, that's illegal. Breaking windshields with their weapons, people covered in blood. In one instance, throwing a tear gas bomb into a vehicle that had 6 children in it. One was taken to the hospital because They have asthma, and so that affected them, of course. But the people are together. And when the ice vehicles come down the street, they come outside with their whistles, and they start blowing their whistles, and they hit the buttons on their own cars to make the alarms go off. And it's so subversive. It's just gorgeous. And there is a method to the madness, because different numbers of whistle blowing mean different things. You know, ice is on your street. Ice is taking somebody out of their car. We think ice is on the next block. Every place I went, there were people wearing the vest that indicated that they were observers, standing on street corners waiting for the school buses so that children would be safe, walking teachers into their schools so that they can get inside and teach, protecting parents who were dropping off their children. Didn't always work, but they did it over and over and over again. People driving their cars following ice. It's not illegal to follow a car, even if you're obviously following them wherever they're going. It is illegal to prevent them from going where they're going. So one day, I was sitting in a Lutheran church listening to some 5 or 6 people telling us what it was like to follow those ice cars. They're so organized. They would get a call on their phone from the dispatcher saying, ice is on Main Street and such a block, and we need you to go in that direction. And so the people would go in that direction, and then they'd report back, no ice here. And then somebody else would get a call from dispatch, and they would follow an ice car, and they would call dispatch to let them know the make and model of the car and the current license plate number if they could get it. And then dispatch would call them back to let them know, oh, that's a plate off of a car that was stolen in Manhattan 3 months ago. I don't know how ICE gets those plates, but it must be some kind of thing where when the police find the car, they do something with the plates and somehow ICE gets them. That's irrelevant. So we sat and we listened to these young people, 6 of them. They couldn't, not one of them, maybe one of them was 30 and the rest were younger, in their 20s, telling us about their day, telling us about getting the calls, telling us when they were on schedule. Every one of them had a gas mask. One of them was pregnant. But they were out on the streets every single day. The first day I was there, we were all sent to a huge Westminster Presbyterian church where we were given instructions. We heard from people who were doing the work. There's a lot of anxiety in the community, and people carry it in their bodies. I didn't realize how heavy that anxiety was until I began to experience it in my own body. Hypervigilance. When I got home, I didn't leave the house for 4 or 5 days because I didn't know who would be behind me. I was there for 4 days, only 4 days. And that hypervigilance just lives like a chunk of, if you'll pardon the comparison, ice in my chest. Imagine doing that for months on end. We were all signed up on a Signal thing. I had never heard of Signal before, and of course it took me a while to get on it because I'm a little bit of a Luddite. That was the only way we were to communicate with anybody, and nobody outside of the group of 600 to 1,000 clergy plus the locals who were there. 600 to 1,000 religious people showed up for the call. That was a call similar to the one that Martin Luther King Jr. gave 60 years ago now for clergy to come to Selma. 600 to 1,000 of us, all in Westminster Presbyterian Church. We filled the church and the balcony. People of all faiths. So we were instructed, of course, that we were to share nothing, no photographs, no Facebook posts, no emails home, no texts, nothing. Hypervigilance. We could make phone calls home to let everyone know we were fine. And we were fine. We were not on the front lines as much as the people in Minneapolis are. I didn't feel fine. So on that day that we were at St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church, listening to the young people who had been out on the streets for a month, ICE showed up. Now, this church is mostly made up of Spanish-speaking people, people of color. And when we arrived, we had to show the wristband that we got on Thursday to get in to security, and security were the teenagers of the church. They're learning young. And so we were in the sanctuary listening to this presentation, and I could see something was happening. You know when you're in a group and somebody walks over to one of the people in the panel and they whisper in their ear, and then that person goes and they whisper in the other person's ear. And then, of course, an announcement was made that ICE was there. And security, don't forget, they're teenagers, managed to lock down the place. The front door that we came in and the door to the medical clinic and whatever other entrances and exits were in the church. And we were told that we would need to stay there while ICE surrounded the building. It was a Thursday, so it was the same day of the medical clinic that the medical students from the local university provide to the community once a week. And so they had patients in the clinic, and they had people coming, being driven by some of the young folks that are out in the streets driving. And so they needed to take them back to wherever they were, and the patients in the clinic and the students needed to stay where they were. It was scary. Hypervigilance. My sermon is entitled Loaves and Fishes. While we were there, we were supposed to leave at noon to go to the airport for the protest, and we couldn't go anywhere. So while we were there, the pastor came up to the front of the church, the sanctuary, and said to us, "There's soup." What? Somehow, some of those beloved church members had found stuff to feed us. There was no plan to feed 200 people in the sanctuary and in the room next to the sanctuary. We were not planning to have lunch there. There was soup. There were people in the kitchen cutting bread and vegetables, and a man at a pot that must have been as big as this podium, mixing with a big stick soup that smelled so delicious. I'd never smelled anything like it before. And sure enough, in this Small Lutheran church, 90% of the members afraid for their lives, in a poor community. They fed 200 people. Think about that. Nobody is getting left behind this time. It still chokes me up to talk about that. I mean, you all know how to feed people, don't get me wrong, but this was truly a miracle of New Testament proportions. The people who are driving following ICE vehicles are a group of people who are extremely well trained. Other people, elders, moms, other young people, shopping, grocery shopping, delivering food, delivering medicine, picking up CVS prescriptions so that people will get their medications, taking children out of the house to someplace safe for a few hours where they can play. My friend Ashley Horan lives in the neighborhood, and she has a 5-year-old. And every now and then she gets to send that child to a neighbor further away so that the child can play with the other woman's children, like a normal day. But Ashley lives in a home that when she stands on her front porch, she can see where Nicole Brown was murdered. That close to her home. That's where she protests every day. That's where she takes flowers to the memorial that has been set up and recently burned and recently rebuilt. We are not afraid. Everyone is afraid. And it doesn't stop them. Ashley talks about taking her 5-year-old to the memorial and trying to explain to her what the memorial was for, and that one of their neighbors who have children that go to school with this child was murdered there. I happened to call her that day. I'm the chaplain to the Unitarian Universalist Board of Trustees, and I consider my chaplaincy duties to be a little broader than that to the administrative people, the administration of the UUA, because they have no one to go to. And so I happened to call her that day, and when she saw that it was me, she answered the phone, and she said, "Oh, Danielle," and she burst into tears. She's getting old fast. You know, she's a young woman, and when I got to Minneapolis and saw the aging on her face, it broke my heart. So here we sit in beautiful Hingham, Massachusetts. From what I've seen, what I've read, and what I've heard, it's unlikely that ICE will come to Hingham. But ICE is here in Massachusetts and getting stronger and stronger every day. New vehicles by the hundreds have been brought to Burlington, Massachusetts, where many of our UU clergy and lay people are out on the street every day. Big time on Wednesday and every day the rest of the week, keeping vigil, watching the people go into the courthouse, going as far as they can with them until they're stopped, and then praying that they come out again. Nearly 1,500 people have been picked up in Massachusetts, and that was true when I wrote this sermon right after I got back from Minneapolis. A man was dragged out of his car at a courthouse in Milford, taken away, and not seen since. In Rockland, Massachusetts, where I live, and Reverend Liz lives there also, there's a large community of Brazilian people. I don't think Brazilians are on the list, but as we have seen, there's a quota, and the list doesn't matter. If you are dark-skinned or even remotely light-ish, darkish skin, it's possible you will be picked up. And Rockland is an easy hit. Quotas can be made quickly. I hate to be crass, but it's true. Quotas can be made quickly. There have been some ICE workers who have broken away and have talked to people who say that, this is true. There are quotas, and we are to pick up whoever we want, and they do. So here we sit in Hingham, Massachusetts. What are we to do? What are we called to do as people of faith? Well, I'm going to make it easy for you. We are called to do everything we can. What has worked in Minneapolis is the strong, small communities of neighbors that have been developed over the years through the murders by police, Castillo, and 2 or 3 others whose names are escaping me right now. They've built community over tragedy, because of tragedy. We don't have that. Everything we can do, meet your neighbors. Spend some time in the downtown of your town, looking carefully at who's there, who's not, what looks safe, what does not look safe. Go into the businesses. Talk to the people in there who own the businesses. See how they're doing. Bring a cup of coffee to the local police in his car or her car. Find out if people need something and help that old person, that would be me, in the grocery store who can't reach the top shelf. I cannot tell you how every time I go to the grocery store, I can't reach something on the top shelf, and good, strong, tall people, meaning anyone over 5 feet, walk right past me. So help that old lady out. A little plug for me. Find an organization that is doing something you think you could do. Even though most of our politicians are going to do the right thing, call their office anyway and thank them. I know we have some people here today who are leaders in a local organization that is doing some of this work, and I encourage you to talk to them during coffee hour. And I'm not trying to put them on the spot, but would you like to raise your hands or not? You don't have to. Okay. Okay. Look around for the people you don't know. Never forget who we are and whose we are. Never forget that inherent dignity is a birthright. Never forget that we are tied together by our humanness. This is something that Unitarian Universalists should know. It should live deeply in our bones. We belong to each other. And what does that mean? That means we take care of each other in good times and in bad, when we're brave and courageous and when we're afraid. And come to church. Come to church, to be held in loving community, to offer your love to others, to pray, to meditate, to rest, to have a meal together, to get the spiritual armor, to do it all over again. Someone in those 4 days that I was there said, no matter where I am, whether I am in my church or whether I am at the grocery store or whether I'm at the gas station, I look around and I say, these are my people. That is deeply spiritual. And we can protect each other if we remember that these are our people wherever we are. We know these are our people. So in closing, I want to tell you that ICE is housing more than 70,000 people right now in the US. And they're using private citizen data to track down the observers and show up at their homes to intimidate them, which happens every day in Minneapolis. ICE agents will go up to a car that has been following them and say, I know where you live. And they do. And remember, we're in this together, beloveds. And if not us, who? Put on your spiritual armor. Sing, we are not afraid, no matter how afraid we are. I am glad to be home. I am glad to be safe. And I am glad to be loved. Thank you for loving me. Amen. Let us stand as we are willing and able and sing hymn number 1028 in your teal hymnal. The Fire of Commitment.
From the
In the words of the hymn that we just sang, we share a prophetic voice which demands a deep justice, builds on courageous choices, and that fills our heart with the fire of commitment. It sets our heart and soul ablaze. And so, may you leave here today with your hearts filled with love first, and then a soul that's filled with compassion and ablaze to do the good work. Amen, and blessed be. Can I thank our musicians today? They really did it. They worked hard. Thank you.
You ready?